Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Here basically we are discussing about the city creation. In this basically we are discussing target of the 1 kilogram sand basically. So in this basically we saw one story basically. That story basically contains that person basically died here, right? That was basically they basically converted that person basically. He was basically a software professional basically. They converted that person as an enemy basically of the software, and they killed that basically. And in that basically killing basically of that particular person basically, there that also basically that energy also basically is there in the land basically. That only basically I want to say. So 2 3 video basically which now we just shown, that was explaining that sand contains this type of data also. That is this story basically which was generated by the Bollywood group basically. So here basically comes sand basically contains negative and positive data. That is sand basically. So this much basically I want to explain this much basically. It took 3 to 4 videos basically, because this is the only way basically you can explain basically. So that story basically was there basically. So like this basically the testing system of the Microsoft also basically contains. This was connected with the testing only. Reason, software blood cells, that tall person basically was having the software blood cells, and software blood cells means Microsoft basically also. Software blood cells means Microsoft also. So like this basically what things was basically there. So like this basically thing are basically there. So one of the person told this testing strategy basically which is created by Microsoft basically, that Microsoft can create the testing strategy. No, basically Microsoft can't create. Why? Because he just is having the set of words basically, and set of words, according to words basically he created one planet, that is basically name given as a Microsoft, but he don't know basically that near around planet basically who would be. Mostly near would be technology only basically. That is C, C++, this, that, this, and everything basically. So according to that basically he has created the planet. So when he was basically creating the planet basically, that time basically this was generated. That is disease, and disease is basically Java, C++, this, that, basically PHP, Python. They all basically become basically disease. In this disease basically, disease actually what basically? Enemy basically you can say. In this basically enemy means technology basically. When the technology basically, when the software blood cells basically comes into the picture, all are one basically. So like this he basically told that basically this is basically disease, and this basically is going to circulate, going to basically whenever your planet is going to move basically, that time basically the disease is going to generate, the near around basically planets which are going to generate, that has converted into disease. So you have to create medicine of that disease basically. So just see basically up to what level things basically are connected, and up to what level the doctors are also basically connected. Doctors are also connected up to what level, just see, because they have created the medicine basically, and they have created disease basically automatically gets generated basically. Disease basically is not created basically. So like this basically things are basically there. So just see basically up to what level things basically. So this also comes into the testing system basically. So whenever the planet Microsoft is going to move to the system basically, that is the universe, that time basically the Microsoft is going to move, and they basically will be having this data basically. Each and every data basically they will be having missiles, each and everything, and each and everything basically is tested in the Earth planet also basically. RDX, this, that, each and everything basically they have tested here basically. So like this basically things basically connects here. So in this basically they tested that walkie-talkie system is also basically there. One of the person told that walkie-talkie actually what actually are basically. In really basically in universe level what is walkie-talkie? Then he told that basically walkie-talkie means you can say the communication between cities to city, and that basically roadmap basically is created. Then only basically he can communicate basically. then only basically you can, in roadmap basically we saw basically how the roadmaps are created. That roadmap basically is, if we can say that basically that roadmap is connected with set of universe roadmap also, then also it would be 100% correct basically. 100% correct basically. So walkie-talkie basically is the communication between this, and communication basically, in communication basically they uses what, for example Reliance Group basically taken one walkie-talkie, or basically TCS Group basically, Tata Consultancy Group. From this 100 type basically they taken one data. So they created SIM, they created internet, they created mobile, they created phone lines, they created ideas, education line basically, that we have already discussed. In this basically the positive and negative stuff also basically comes basically. In this basically the positive and negative stuff basically also comes basically. So you can just imagine basically. So you can just imagine basically. So you can just imagine basically. So see basically what are the things basically. See basically how it's connected. So in this basically they created this whole system basically. So walkie-talkie is basically one of the system basically. This was, and this basically positive negative stuff basically both comes into the picture basically. So just see basically up to what level things basically are connected. So here basically we are going to see again basically where the earthquake basically are connected in this time basically when we are watching this video basically. See basically where are the earthquake. Southern Greece, Indonesia, Chile, Sea, Hawaii, Italy. See basically where the earthquake is coming basically. The Philippines is there basically. See basically. Turkey is also there. See basically everywhere Turkey is there basically. See Turkey. Texas is also there basically. See basically. France is also there. France-German border is also there basically. So when we are discussing this topic now basically, that time basically this all basically earthquake. And so basically long before discussion with the earthquake, just taking as an example basically, that whenever thing basically are doing basically, that time basically the and this website basically gives earthquake basically when basically 2-3 years before basically the earthquake, 2-3 weeks before, 2-3 hours before the whatever earthquake came, that basically they say basically. So like this basically things basically connect. So one of the person told that basically up to what level things basically are connected here basically. So walkie-talkie, see basically walkie-talkie is also basically one of the infrastructure basically. This is also one of the infrastructure basically. This is also one of the infrastructure. So in next video basically we are going to see a little bit more about this infrastructure, that is walkie-talkie infrastructure roadmaps basically.